So now may just be the exact time that you're considering purchasing a new TV. And in my opinion, this is the best value TV that you can buy currently. This is the LG C3. Now I know already some of you are starting to type in the comments, but let me explain why. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. Now it's important to remember that the best value TV of the year is not saying that this is the best TV of the year. Don't get me wrong, this is an incredibly good TV, but there probably are others out there better. In fact, there definitely are. But when you weigh up price for features, I really believe that this is the best value TV you can buy currently. So last year I purchased at full retail value the Sony A95K, and although I was pleased with it as a TV, it left a bitter taste in my mouth. I always felt that I paid too much money, and I'll come on to this year's prices in a second. I've also bought this year the Samsung S95C, and again, that is an incredible TV. The extra brightness that you get is fantastic, and this year they've definitely addressed some of the build quality issues that were definitely present in 2022 on the S95B. And this one has actually been discounted, in the UK at least, slightly more than the LG C3. And another TV which I use as my main TV in my main living room is the LG G3. Now this is the 2023 version, and again it's an incredible TV. It's almost the perfect TV. In fact, in my opinion, it is almost a faultless TV, but it's still very expensive and not the best value. So I've been comparing prices of what TVs actually launched at compared to what you can get for them now, and they are quite surprising. So it seems that the UK in general, the TVs launch at a higher price but then get discounted more. So for instance, the C3 is 59% of its original value, the Samsung S95C is 58% of its original value, and if you want to look at the G3, well that's 60% of its original value. In the US, it's slightly different. They launch at a lower price, but then they don't discount quite as much. But still, the C3 is the most heavily discounted, and so you can now pick that one up at 68% of its original value. And the Samsung S95C, the 55-inch version, you can pick up for 74% of its original value. Now, my source on this is Amazon. I've checked a couple of other sites, and it's very, very similar. But what is surprising, and again, it's the thing that might leave a bitter taste in some people's mouth, is months after their launch, the Sonys are still at 100% of their original price, and that's why I just don't think they can be the best value TV. And I don't want any of you getting what's called buyer's remorse, where you buy something and then, well, it just doesn't tick the box that you thought it would. Now, don't get me wrong, those other TVs are all incredible TVs, but because you're spending so much more money on them, I just don't think the ratio between being happy with the amount that you've spent and then what you receive will be as high as getting this TV. Because this TV pretty much does everything. It has 4 HDMI at 4K 120Hz. It's got an incredible picture. The brightness is improved from the previous year. The design of this TV, I think, is incredible. It looks absolutely fantastic. And I think for pretty much anyone, whether you're a gamer, fan of movies, fan of just watching standard TV, this will suffice for most people. There are some bugbears with it, definitely. The stand I still don't like. I don't like the fact that it's sloped and it's more difficult to get a soundbar underneath. I would like to see an adjustable stand, which LG have started to introduce on their QNED models this year. And I would certainly like to see an extra bit of brightness. But unless you've got these actually side by side with one of their competitors, I just don't think that you'll really notice it. One thing incredible about this TV is the amount of changes that you can make to the picture. You've got your standard modes like Vivid, Standard, Cinema, Sports, Game Optimizer, etc. And you've also got Filmmaker mode, ISF Expert in a bright room, and ISF Expert in a dark space. And I think those last three are probably my three favorites. But the one feature I really like on new TVs this year is the personalized picture. So this is where instead of playing with different settings and changing brightness and color up and down, you can literally go in and choose against different pictures, choosing the ones that you like the most, the ones which are most pleasing to your eye, and then the AI of the TV will automatically generate the image for you, and it will analyze it and then change the picture. One huge improvement is WebOS 23, and it's much more streamlined than it has been in previous years. There are still adverts there, but there's definitely less of them. You also got access to things like Home Office, where you can sync this to your computer and have it as a virtual screen, and there's an incredible games menu. And the gaming on this TV is absolutely fantastic. You've still got features like the art gallery, where if you like this type of thing, you can have it. Now, when I ran my tests in terms of motion and blooming, that was absolutely perfect on this TV. Now, the camera that I'm using and the fact that I've had to raise the ISO may give you an indication of some blooming, but in reality, you do not see any blooming at all, and the motion is super smooth. There is no issues at all with this TV. And because this is an OLED TV, when we ran our blank colors test, it was absolutely clean as a whistle. There's been zero sign of burn-in in the 4 or 5 months that I've had this TV, and I've been using this TV mainly actually for gaming. And as I play the same games over and over, if you are going to see any burn-in, well then you probably would have seen it by now. Now, I don't know whether any of you are still afraid of buying an OLED TV because of burning. Perhaps you can let me know in the comments, but certainly I think it's something which has become less of an issue over the last few years. Now, the other thing that this TV does incredibly well with its AI processor is the upscaling. So we're just watching normal TV in standard HD at the moment, and the upscaling quality of it is absolutely fantastic. So it doesn't really matter what you put through this TV, you're going to get an exceptional picture. Now, obviously, for movies and things like that, it is brilliant. HDR quality on this TV, again, is fantastic. However, it's not the best. I would say that the Samsung is better and the Sony is better. But if you're looking for a great all-round TV, then without a doubt, the LG C3 is the one that you ought to choose. I mentioned earlier that the brightness in certain scenes would have been nice to see improved. It's not something that you really notice, but when you do measure the brightness, it's significantly lower than the other TVs we've talked about. And I think that that's probably going to remain like that in future years because they will just move people to the G3 if you want the brighter panel. Now, the gaming with Game Optimizer on this TV is absolutely incredible. With almost zero input lag at all, you're not going to have any issues at all. Again, in some of the HDR scenes on the other TVs, you'll probably notice them being a bit brighter. But again, you would only notice that if they were literally side by side. Every single person that's walked into my studio when I'm playing a game on this TV has just said, wow. They're absolutely blown away by it. And that then is something which I think the majority of you that are buying an OLED, maybe for the first time, will just have that immense pleasure. Now, any of you in some scenes that have seen the whites blown out a little bit, like for instance here on the white shirts, that isn't actually the case in reality. It's just my camera settings blew them out a little bit. You certainly don't notice that in reality. So my friends, if you're in the market for a great TV and you want to get the best value possible, then I just don't think that you're going to get any better than the LG C3. It gives you an incredible picture, the majority of all the features that the other TVs give you, but it gives you that reassurance that you've still got some money in your back pocket, because this one is the cheapest out of the lot of them. Guys, that's my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If there are any questions, just let me know and I'll do my best to answer them.